Alexander Hayes adjusted his worn baseball cap and brushed a hand over his 3-day stubble. The khaki jacket and jeans felt strange after years of custom-tailored suits. As CEO of Prime Trust Bank, he'd built the bank's reputation on exceptional customer service, but lately satisfaction scores had been slipping. Time to see what's really happening on the front lines, he thought. Alexander had created a complete alias, Alexander Peterson, a local contractor with proper identification and a genuine bank account. After 15 minutes in line, he reached teller station 4, where Jessica stared at her computer screen. "I'd like to make a withdrawal from my checking account, please," he said. "$500, please." As Jessica studied the screen, her expression changed. "Sir, could you please wait a moment?" Her voice carried an edge of suspicion. Within minutes, branch manager Martin Davis appeared. "Mr. Peterson, would you mind stepping over to my office? We have some issues with your account. Are you aware that you currently have approximately $3.2 million in outstanding loans with Prime Trust Bank?" Davis said coldly. "What? That's impossible. I don't have any loans with this bank," Alexander protested. "Our system shows 5 separate business loans approved over the last 8 months, all currently in default. The most recent was approved just 3 weeks ago for $750,000. There must be some mistake. This is clearly identity theft or fraud." Davis's expression hardened. "I'm afraid I'll need to freeze all your accounts immediately pending investigation." Alexander stood up. "This is absurd. I am not trying to defraud anyone." 2 security guards burst through the door, grabbing Alexander by the arms. "Listen to me," Alexander said desperately. "I'm Alexander Hayes, not Peterson. I'm the CEO of this bank." Davis laughed. "Now it escalates to impersonating our chief executive." Alexander was ejected from his own bank as every employee watched. On the sidewalk, shock gave way to determination. Something was terribly wrong. People were approving millions in fraudulent loans to his private office. Melissa revealed worse news. There are actually 7 loans, not 5. The total is closer to $4.1 million. She'd found 243 customers with suspicious loan activity. When customers complain, their cases get buried and they're flagged for fraud. Alexander discovered they'd been using his executive credentials to override security protocols. Then he checked his personal accounts. "According to this, I have over $12 million in personal loans I never approved." "They're not just using your system access, they're using your identity as cover," Melissa realized. "If anything goes wrong, you take the fall." 3 days later, Alexander watched from a surveillance van as Davis, Jessica, and others gathered after hours. He tapped into the conference room camera. 17 new targets this week, Davis was saying. All established customers with excellent credit. "What about the executive credentials?" Weber asked. "Rollins needs to calm down," Davis snapped. "Hayes never checks the credential logs." Alexander tensed. Edward Rollins was his chief financial officer. The group began creating elaborate loan documentation for unwitting customers. Alexander watched as they forged signatures and bypassed security protocols. Melissa later confirmed. Rollins has shell companies, all leading to a private equity fund in Singapore. Conservatively, they've taken over $85 million in the past 18 months. Alexander submitted another loan application as Peterson. It was approved for $650,000. They tracked the money as it dispersed across multiple accounts. Alexander met Rollins at a quiet restaurant. "I've discovered unusual activity in our loan approvals. Multiple customers with questionable loans they claim not to have requested." "Customer fraud happens all the time," Rollins replied. "Someone used my executive credentials to override security protocols. Only 6 people have that clearance." Rollins stiffened. "You should initiate a security audit." "I've already started my own investigation," Alexander said. "I know about your after-hours meetings. I know about the Peterson account you targeted." Rollins stood. "You can't prove anything. Sit down, Edward. Unless you want me to call the FBI agents waiting outside." Rollins slowly sank back. 28 employees across 14 branches. Over $100 million processed. "Why?" "Because I could. You built this perfect customer-focused bank while ignoring the real potential." "And my personal accounts?" Rollins smiled. "Insurance policy. All evidence would point to you. I'd be the hero who discovered the fraud." Alexander showed him a tracking screen. "I have teams following every dollar. I have video of your meetings. Federal banking regulators are very interested. You don't understand. This is bigger than you think. I have partners. Powerful people. You mean James Wickford? Alexander named the third largest shareholder. Rollins sent a warning message, triggering Alexander's system lockdown. Alexander sprinted to headquarters as Rollins' network attempted to delete evidence that he strode to the conference room where Davis and Chin worked frantically. I know everything, Alexander announced. Federal regulators are executing search warrants at 12 branches simultaneously. Rollins promised we were protected, Chin said. Rollins is in federal custody, as is James Wickford. Federal agents flooded the building. The fraud network touched over 1,200 accounts with losses exceeding $120 million. 6 weeks later, Alexander addressed the board. All primary perpetrators have been charged. We've recovered 93% of stolen funds. Every affected customer has been fully reimbursed. He removed 7 executives who'd failed oversight responsibilities and introduced new leadership committed to integrity. We're implementing the Customer Advocate Program with unprecedented transparency. Alexander paused. I considered resigning. This happened under my watch. However, the board asked me to stay, and I've agreed. Banking isn't just about money. It's about trust. He unveiled Prime Trust's new motto. Integrity first, customers always. Standing at the boardroom window, Alexander reflected. Sometimes you had to lose everything to remember what truly matters.